Let's talk about Call of Duty Zombies, or more specifically, Modern Warfare Zombies. I'm probably being a dead horse here right now, but I felt the need to talk about this. Now, I'm not the most relevant CoDZombies YouTuber out there, with this being a very minor thing that I featured on my channel. I don't live and breathe it, I don't speedrun any of the maps yet, and I don't do big deep dives into the lore. And by that, I mean I don't make videos on lore. Though I did watch the nearly 7-hour video by Eruption Fang about the lore, but let me tell you one thing that stood out in my memory as a kid. On those occasional days when my dad would pick me up and we go to his house, I would always remember him booting up his Xbox 360 and loading up Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies. And it would be this that would get me into the world of CoDZombies. I would watch my dad load up into a game of town or farm because those were the simplest maps, and he would just go on for hours. And to this day, I still remember all those times. All those times he would throw grenades into the fire pit, or in the fire cracks because of a rumor they would drop max ammos, or the little trick he would do on farm to get a mystery box weapon without opening the house. So I feel like I could say I was immersed in zombies for a while. Eventually, when I got into high school, I did get my own Xbox One, and with that, I would get to play on my own. I'd started with Advanced Warfare, as that's what was out at the time, and yes, I am part of the minority that actually liked Advanced Warfare and CoDZombies, and then finally getting into the chaos that was Black Ops 3. Now, in the beginning, I was more of a multiplayer person, but eventually as I played more and more zombies, I found it quite fun to play. I would play it for hours, trying to get all the Easter eggs, and for years, I would keep going on until eventually dropping COD altogether. Now in recent years, I got back with Warzone and subsequently Modern Warfare 2, but in the last year, I have been getting re-immersed into the CoDZombies scene, with me once again playing Black Ops 2, 3, 4, and even CoDZombies. And just as I was getting back into it, over the horizon came the announcement of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. This was hype. I was excited. After all this time, we finally have new zombies content after the well had kind of dried up. Now the only zombies I haven't played at this point was Cold War and Vanguard, but I did later on get Cold War. The zombies community had basically declared that zombies at this point was kind of diminishing from its glory days, and with the coming of Modern Warfare 3, some speculated that it would just keep going downhill. And as time passed, with leaks and gameplay reveals, it finally showed us what Modern Warfare Zombies Operation Deadbolt would look like. And it was not promising. Gone was the traditional round-based zombies experience we were so used to, and instead promising an open-world experience. Remember when they took out round-based zombies in Vanguard? Remember how much everyone hated that? Now, if you haven't played Modern Warfare Zombies, or even seen any gameplay for it, let me break it down for you. Modern Warfare Zombies is essentially a combination of two modes used in previous titles, Cold War's Outbreak and Modern Warfare 2's DMZ. Outbreak was a unique zombies mode where instead of your traditional round-based zombies, you would be dropped into a random open map with an objective marked for you to complete. Along the way, you could do some side things, find better weapons, get perks, but you would mainly do the objective to get points, as killing zombies would net you a very tiny amount of points. Once the objective is done, you get your points, you get to go to a location where you can then buy upgrades and perks before choosing to extract from the game or move on to a new location where the round changes and things get harder. Next, DMZ is a spin-off mode from Warzone, where you get to drop into one of the Warzone maps and work with teammates against AI enemies while also looting items to sell for money or even taking on contracts for even more money so you can purchase gear. Along your squad, you can run into other players who you can team up with if you desire to make an even bigger squad. At the end of it, you can extract in order to keep some of your gear and weapons for your next round. And that brings us to Modern Warfare Zombies, where now it's a giant Warzone-like map that up to 24 players in varying squads load into. They autonomously do contracts, loot areas, upgrade their gear, and at the end, extract from the map. And I also pray that the random people you queued up with aren't fucking useless enough to just abandon the squad. Seriously, why queue up in a squad if you're just gonna play solo? I just came to record footage and this is what I got. And that's basically all there is so far. Modern Warfare Zombies supposedly has some story, seemingly to continue after the events of Cold War, but so far there isn't really anything to present that. Then again, I wouldn't know because in order to reach story-related things, you have to complete a slew of missions before you get any story information. So here we are now, sitting on a giant map with zombies, contracts, and players. Now anytime someone asks me what I think of Modern Warfare Zombies gameplay, my answer is always, it's alright. When asked about Modern Warfare Zombies entirely, one word: soulless. Now don't get me wrong, I do think the Zombies mode is fun, it is replayable, it kind of allows you to keep requeuing for another match. I remember I would sometimes play the Outbreak mode in Cold War sometimes in my off time because it is kind of fun, you know? But it still lacks in so many ways compared to its older titles, and I'll explain why I think so. Now for my talking points, I'm excluding Cold War and Vanguard because my knowledge of those titles are very limited, but Cold War is probably the starting point for some of the declines in my points. Now in my opinion, I think there are 3 points that kind of make for a good Zombies experience, at least in the case of Call of Duty Zombies. There's map, characters, and story. So to explain my points, let's use my favorite map in my favorite Zombies game, Black Ops 3 Der Eisendrache, or Der Eisendrache if you want to be technical about it. So to start, let's talk about the map itself. A snowy castle located in Austria, repurposed by a science research organization, Group 935. Now doesn't that sound interesting? Once you load into the map, it's breathtaking. A huge castle on the mountains overlooking a village in a nighttime setting with bits of sci-fi and occult sprinkled in the map. This map also features some new as well as returning mechanics from other maps. A gondola that you can activate to get a free power-up, dragon heads that you can feed to get the wonder weapon, paths to upgrade said wonder weapon to some crazy strong variants, allowing every player to have one for each of them, a buildable shield, a specialist weapon, Hellhound's Panzer Soul Net, and to top it all off, a crazy Easter egg to progress the story. Now let's talk about the characters. We have the good old crew, Edward Richthofen, a German scientist, Tank Dempsey, an American Marine Corps soldier, Nikolai Belensky, a Russian soldier, and Takeo Masaki, an Imperial Japanese soldier. A group of unique characters who are on a goal to create a future where the threat of zombies in Element 115, the driving force for all of this prior to Cold War, no longer exists. All the characters are interesting, with some people favoring one over another. In my case, I like Richthofen the most, but all have unique personalities, voice lines, and interactions with one another. I especially like how Richthofen is communicating with the suspicious Dr. Groff.
Richthofen, is that you? When we didn't hear from you, we feared the worst.
Fear not, Dr. Groff. It is me, Edward. Any reports from the Giants suggesting my demise are erroneous.
I could go on about characters, but for now let's move on to the final point, the story. No spoilers if you haven't done the Der Eisendrache Easter egg, but if you haven't done it, what are you doing? The story or Easter egg of this map is to bring down the rocket that holds the body of an alternate version of Dempsey in order to collect his soul and use it for their goal for a better future. And to keep things short, let me speedrun you through the Easter egg. Turn on the power, beat 3 dragons, collect the bow, pick an upgrade for the bow, shoot the teleporter, shoot some wisps, go back in time to see a code, get the items, punch in that code, open the safe, play Simon Says, rocket comes back to Earth, shoot more wisps, go back in time again to collect a tablet, summon a keeper, feed its souls, send it to the moon, it brings back the MPD, put the soul canister, keeper is corrupted, use Ragnarok to teleport, fight giant keeper boss fight, charge a summoning key, and blow up the moon.
Launch protocol initiated. 30 seconds to impact. We are using multiple rocket launches. What have you done? You are a fool, Richthofen! Even the destruction of this facility and my own death, nothing will not prevent the advancement of our cause.
It is as I foresaw. 2 Germans at first, but only one remains.
Dark, but I know where we are going.
And then a cutscene plays out. Now this is a very simplified explanation of the Easter egg, but the point is, there's a driving force in this map, a story. So we have our 3 points, map, characters, story. And this point really could be used for most other Zombies maps. You have a cool map, you have a group of interesting characters, and a story going around in the background. Like, let me list some of these map settings and just tell me, do they not sound cool? A German research facility, Alcatraz prison, an Austrian castle, World War I Northern France battlegrounds with a crazy place, Stalingrad during an active battle with dragons flying around, the Titanic, the Pentagon, an old western town buried underground, an Egyptian-style arena, the freaking moon, And finally, a map hovering in space with parts of other maps colliding together with a giant alien flying over. I know Revelations isn't everyone's favorite map, but as a concept, is it not kind of cool? A map where maps of the past merge into one. The point is, these maps are all in their own right unique, interesting, and artistically spectacular, with some of them having all these incredible aspects and colors popping to just create an amazing experience. Now I know there are some simpler maps, like Nuketown, Farm, Town, but the point is those were supposed to be simple maps alongside the, well, infamous Transit. But that was kind of the thing, it was an additional map that you could play separately from the story. And now let's compare it all to Modern Warfare Zombies. It's bleak. It's just another giant map designed like a Warzone map.
To further prove the point that Urzikstan is kind of more of a Warzone-esque map, they literally, as I'm recording this right now as of December 6th, they literally just released Warzone for Modern Warfare 3, and guess what the map is? That's right, it's Urzikstan. The map doesn't have any cool aesthetics. It's all painted in these 2 desaturated colors, no history or lore related to the zombie story. It's just an area that got hit by the dark ether and is now zombified. Even a basic map like Town from Black Ops 2. Why is it zombified and on fire? Because in Black Ops 1, you blew up the Earth, and now Richtofen controls the ether. And the playable characters are only operators, not specific characters designed for the story. Instead, those ones are relegated to voice comms, so you can hear their senseless chatter and repeated lines for contracts for the billionth time. And when I say repeated lines, I know you can only have so many voice lines for characters. You play any Zombies map long enough, you can hear the voice lines repeatedly. But when you basically hear the same type of dialogue every time you pass by certain activities or contracts, it's so boring.
My team was investigating some local anomalies when they went dark. Well, technically speaking, these anomalies are...
No time for that, Pereira. Just call them spores.
We sent that squad in with an ether inhibitor after detecting some cyclonic aberrations. You wouldn't believe the basics around them.
No time for that, Pereira. Just call them spores.
None of the operators you can play as have any interesting voice lines. They all have some varying voice line for when they get hurt, when they're reloading, when they're shooting, and when they're being shot at by a friendly. That's it. They don't have any interesting interaction. Gameplay wise, points are once again nerfed with zombie kills, so contracts is the name of the game. But you can also loot to get even more points. The mode also runs on a timer, forcing you to have to leave within an hour of playtime, otherwise you lose all your stuff. And on another note, this mode is clearly designed for you to play with a squad. If you try to do this by yourself, or if you're lacking people in your squad, you may find that you're going to have a hard time doing anything. And so now, here we are, with the current state of zombies, and the only question we can ask is, where are we going from here? There have been leaks about future content, but at the current moment, it's not looking promising. All I can hope is that we get a zombies title that once again sparks the excitement that once existed. But I guess until then, I guess it's back to Urzikstan for us. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not really used to making these kinds of long form content, almost essay-like videos. But I just felt like it was something that I wanted to talk about because this is kind of something that I've known for so long. It's a series that I kind of care about. I know that there are definitely other people in the community who care way more than I do, or probably have more to say than I do, but I'm still, in a sense, part of this community of CoDZombie players who was hoping that we would get something more, and this is what we're left with. But anyways, that's besides the point. Thanks for watching, see you all next time. I got some zombies videos I plan to release soon, so hopefully you can enjoy that whenever that comes out. Yeah, goodbye.